Evening, everybody. We are back again with yet another topic, and yeah, we've been away for last 4 days. I've had too much of work and keeping too busy. I am really grateful to my panelists for being there because without you guys, I would have said, "That's it. I'm done with. I can rest now." But I really love it the way Kanchan has been asking me, and Sumita has been asking me, and Rashmi has been asking me, and so has Gopu sir. Kab hai next? Kab hai next? And I said, yesterday I got message from Kanchan, and I said, आज नहीं यार, आज नहीं हो सकता. So I had to go for a dental appointment. I feel like laughing and saying my daughter just heard me, and I said, she asked me, क्या हुआ मम्मी? I said, दांत में दर्द हुआ बच्चे. So she said, मम्मी ब्रश अच्छे से करना था ना, मैंने आपको सिखाया था कि ब्रश करना चाहिए, आप माने नहीं. So that is what happens as you grow older. You have to have your tooth fixed, your eyes fixed, your hair fixed, and everything fixed along with it. And it's quite interesting. So today's topic is creating safety. I'm Dr. Anu Mehta, pioneer in the field of meta health, information medicine, advanced clearing energetics, and in matrix imprinting in India. I also teach various modalities, all these modalities, in fact, and I train the trainers in meta health. And yeah, I do many more things. I'm an international speaker. I also am a regular speaker for Get Set Up right now. And this topic is very close to my heart because we like to create money. But how many of us actually land up creating a safe place for ourselves and for our children, despite all the money, despite all the goodwill, despite everything that we create? If we still are not feeling safe, then there is something essentially missing. So let's go over to Kanchan Todi. Kanchan, could you introduce yourself and also tell the audience why is this topic close to your heart? Thank you so much.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kanchan. I identify as a divine feminine. I'm a change enabler, and I work with children, women, and youth of the community. As far as the topic creating a safe space is concerned, I believe that we all, each one of us, when we feel loved, is when we feel safe, when we feel cared for, is when we feel safe. And sometimes what happens is, in spite of someone else, be it your family, be it your friends, be it your co workers, in spite of them caring and loving you, they might not know or understand as to what is the term care or safety for you, because each one's expression of love, each one's expression of making the other feel safe or secure could be different. And what is my expression of love, or what is my idea of feeling secure or safe could be different from your idea of feeling loved, safe, or secure.
Absolutely, Kanchan, very well said. Extremely well said. In fact, I was so lost in listening to you that I forgot I have to ask a question. So let's go to the new panelist today. And I'm saying new because you have met other panelists. Her name is Margaret, and she will introduce herself. And if I could ask the same question to you, Margaret, do you really think creating a safe place is important? And what does that really mean to you? Thank you.
Yeah, Anu, first of all, let me thank you for inviting me for today's topic. Uh, Friends, I'm Margaret and I'm a Bach flower practitioner. I work with children and I work with adults. Creating a safe space. What I feel is that if all of us are able to uh, be in a space of non-judgment towards others, that itself would make them feel very safe, make them feel like opening up with their problems to us. And I think being able to be non-judgmental towards everybody and anybody would itself create a very safe space for them.
Wow, that's beautifully said. Let's go over to Mandirata. Sumita, if you can introduce yourself and how does this topic resonate with you?
So, hi everyone on Facebook and on the panel. I'm Sumita Mendirata. I'm a consultant clinical psychologist and counselor. I work with children, teenagers, adults. So, I'm a mental health coach for past 18 years using different modalities like EFT, matrix reimprinting, and brain gym. So, Anu, definitely creating a safe place is, something which is like the most, I would say, initial and the primary, source of living for everybody. It's like how we breathe, how we have water, how we have food. So I think safety is a very important parameter, and it is from the time for me it is like since the time I have been born. So for me the safe place is what my parents have given me. So that is my safest place, and that is what I did for my child. So right from I have been conceived by my mother. My mother's womb, I believe, is my first safest place, you know and from there my journey started. So
Wow.
definitely if that place is full of different experiences what my mother had, definitely I'm going to carry that. So I believe that that is now a topic of discussion, that how we can make that womb a safe place. So let's look forward for
Brilliant.
the.
I mean, I love it
Thank you.
when you say, how can I make the womb a safe place? It's so beautifully said. And I love that when you make womb a safe place. Let's go over to Dr. Rashmi Arora. Dr. Rashmi, I love the jula you're sitting on. And
Thank
I
you.
would love to come and sit in it. Actually, it's so beautiful. If you
Please
can
do.
introduce
You're always welcome.
ये COVID क्या करें इसका? So many
हम
people
आप
in my building are and in my apartments. Anyway, so
हम
let's
हम
go over
आंखें बिछाए
to
बैठे हैं, आप दिल्ली आओ तो सही.
वो भी होगा. चलिए, आप बताइए आप हो कौन and how do you resonate with this topic? Thank you.
मैं कौन हूँ? मैं डॉक्टर रश्मि अरोड़ा हूँ, दिल्ली से हूँ
Internet
और मैं
पंगे दे रहा.
प्रैक्टिशनर हूँ, and I've been practicing for the last 25-26 years homeopathy, and I'm a meta health trainer and an NLP practitioner too. Besides, I am a person who likes to use all these holistic modalities for the benefit of myself and my patients. ये topic मेरे लिए क्यों close है? This topic is more close to me, is very close to me because I understand it, I try to understand it at the ground level. For me, safety comes from the word safe, and word comes from the word save. Like we save water, like Sumita said. So that way we try to save ourselves. And how do we save ourselves? We unite ourselves. So safety actually came from a medieval word, which came from which meant uninjured. So as I said, it's a whole, keeping yourself as a whole. So as a medical practitioner, I am looking forward for all the other panelists to discuss about it and how we could see the medical aspect of safety. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's go over to Gopu sir. Gopu sir, I really, really acknowledge your presence here and your consistent presence here. It means a lot, and there is a lot of responsibility on your shoulders because you are one consistent person who's representing the men of our country. So, if you can, please throw some light on who you are as well. What does the safe space mean to you? I apologize, guys. Today, I think internet seems to be slightly funny. And let me see if I can get that better. But Gopu sir, please go ahead. Gopu sir, internet.
Sir, you are on mute. So you need to unmute yourself. Sir, you are on mute. You will need to unmute yourself.
I have unmuted. Yeah, can you hear me now? Yeah, okay. So my name is Gopu Raman. I am a coach, a consultant, and a strategic consultant to many companies. I help people scale up their businesses. I coach executives and CEOs and help them in their day-to-day operations and business. This topic, yes, it is really interesting for me, actually something different. What is a safe place? Well, in corporate language, a safe place means that you don't take any risk. You are taking a back position, or in stock market terms, you are not shorting the market. You are just staying where you are and being safe. Well, in animal world, it is something different. Remember the cat and mouse story. So then, a safe place for mouse is always its hole. So it will go and hide there and escape from the mouse from catching it. So that is how I see this topic to be for today. Thank you.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to hear anything because the internet is giving me stress. I am
Okay.
going.
Okay, Kanchan, were you able to hear me? Other panelists?
Me, guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes, we
hear
can hear.
both Gopu sir and you.
Okay, perfect. So I've managed. No, I have not managed. The energies have managed. That's how it is. So, Gopu sir, that was amazing. If you could kindly repeat a few words for me because I couldn't hear a thing.
Yeah,
So I
I
have.
was relating the topic to the corporate world initially. So there are some safe positions people will take in terms of risks involved in business, and also in terms of the stock market. There are a lot of risks. So when they take a safe position, means they are not shorting the market, or they are not taking a position, a long position or a short position. So
Wow.
they are playing it safe. So that is what it means in corporate world. But I also talked about the animal world between the cat and the mouse. The mouse always hides in the hole and escapes from the mouse. The rat is always inside the hole as a safe place to be in.
Thank
So
you.
that is what I told about that.
Absolutely. I do have to announce that the internet seems slightly funny today, so please do excuse us. And if we do fall out, wait, we'll come back. जा नहीं रहे हैं कहीं, यही है. क्या है कि कई बार इंटरनेट तमाशा करता है, but that's okay. Okay, so and very interesting when we are looking at the topic like this, as to create a safe place, that the internet seems to be going up and down. So, Margaret, you do a lot of work with bug flowers. So, is there any specific remedy which could be required, or is there a specific reason that people do not feel safe? It could be that they're in a perfectly safe environment. Everything around them is actually okay, but yet they still do not feel fine inside. And do you have any remedy for that? Thank you.
So there are various reasons people could not may not feel safe in their very safe environment. Also, not being understood, having setbacks in their life, unable to feel like they'll be able to cope with things. Whenever there is a question of their survival and something that they feel they will not be able to deal with, they will feel unsafe. So if it is fear, there are remedies for fear. If it is unable to get up on your feet to face the world, then there is a remedy for that. So depending on what has caused that feeling of being unsafe, based on that, the remedies would be relevant.
Thank you so much, Yogini. I will ask you first to introduce yourself, and thank you for being there. I love your presence on this platform. Please introduce yourself, and if you can throw some light on what do you think is there anything called creating a safe space, or is it something that exists always? What, according to you, is the safe place?
Hi everyone, my name is Yogini and I'm a mind coach, and I love working with people with hypnosis, imagery, EFT and various modalities. And probably I feel that somewhere as coaches, we do create a safe place for people to open up, because people really come to us and they open up things which they probably most often they tell, ye baat maine kisi ko bhi nahi batai. Okay, so I think as coaches, we do create a safe place for people to come and talk, because we don't judge. A safe place is a place where nobody is judging you, because nobody wants to be judged. You can do wrong things, you can do right things, but judging, giving comments, that's what people don't like. So if I have to iron out, just say what is the safest place, I think if people learn to talk to themselves, the mirror is the safest place. If you can go each night, talk to the mirror, I did this and I'm feeling sorry about this. I did this, I'm feeling happy about this. I did this and I learned this. I think that is the safest place. But we don't even believe in that. We are scared of ourselves. Most often we are scared of our own emotions. So who is going to create a safe place? So I think that's what we all need to learn. Create a safe place within yourself, talk to yourself, emote to yourself. That's the best way to go.
Wow, beautiful. Kanchan, is it a room, like we're saying safe place, safe place? Is it a drawing room, a living room, a bedroom which is safe? Is that what you're talking about here?
Anu, it could be a drawing room, it could be a living room, it could be a workspace, it could be walking on the road.
Thank you.
It could be going to a nightclub, it could be in the arms of a loved one, it could be being in solitude, it could be being at a party. Safe space is all about how you feel in your heart and in your mind.
Ah, okay.
Whether, whether you are with people, whether you are not with people, like Yogini said, are you safe with yourself? So most of the times, people mute, people don't speak up, people don't express, because they don't feel safe in their own emotions. They don't feel comfortable about what they are feeling. And probably when you are not aligned with your heart, with your head and the environment outside, that is when you feel unsafe.
Wow. Wow. So it's basically an internalized process. It's not an external process. So Gopu sir, this is for you. Generally, men are viewed by the women as not safe. Sorry to say that. Most of the women have this nasty habit, and I may be wrong, I may be right. This is my personal view, that I have often felt just to be alone with a man all the time may not be safe. It may be viewed differently. So I can vouch for myself rather than talking as a general public. I've also looked at my father as safe, and my nana is safe, my mama is safe, my son is safe, but they may not be safe for other people. And I think that's just in my head. In reality, men are beautiful, and they complement women.
Yeah.
Be without women, and women cannot be without men. Then why have we bracketed the society into Janana Khana and Marat Khana?
Let me tell you a story on this.
Please.
So I used to be connected with theater in my college days and later on also. So I did a lot of plays. And there used to be one young, pretty girl who was only 16 years old. 16 years old at that time. We were also in college, but little elder, senior, as you would say. So the rehearsals always used to be in the evenings between say 5:30 to 8 o'clock or something like that in the evening, because people who are working have to come from office. People who had afternoon college have to adjust and come. So the timing was that. So we had this pretty young girl who was 16, 16 and a half, and we had taken her as one of the main characters or a main heroine role in that play. Now, the question always used to be, who is going to drop her back home? Okay. So the director of the play always used to take that call, or the production person who was in charge of the entire production would take a call as to who will leave this girl back home. So there will always used to be 3, 4 of these young boys who always was interested in accompanying her back home. So, and one day when one of the boys went home, her father was there at home, and then they made him sit at home and have a cup of coffee or something like that. And so the talk started. So this girl, after that boy went, she probably told her mother that I don't feel very safe with this boy. Whereas there are a couple of others, including me. She named me also as being a very safe person to go back with. So there were the next day this report had come to the production person and the director. So they decided that only 2 of these people will leave her back home, and one of them was me at that point of time. So that is in terms of gender. What is safe to be? Who is safe to be with whom? Is an equation or is a chemistry which people will find out as they go along. But to me, uh, 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 all are like my brothers, sisters, whoever is with me. I feel that I have a responsibility towards the opposite sex as well, and I feel uh, at this age now more like a brotherly affection that I do have with so many of my female friends. I feel that many of them feel very safe with me, and they have
Yes,
expressed to me also. So this is being very candid about what has happened then and what is happening now. So it's a point of view, and you may consider this for the panelists to go ahead.
absolutely. I'll come to Sumita. Sumita, you are into psychology and have been for many, many years. What, according
Yes.
to psychology, takes away safety from a child? Because um, I know it's something that comes from childhood. It's an emptiness that, or I wouldn't even call it an emptiness. It's a feeling. It's an internal feeling that comes from a very deep seated. And you spoke about the womb. You spoke about the womb. So could it be that mom's going through something that's left? The child hasn't felt safe in the womb, and then something has happened and transpired from there. It's got nothing to do with men, women, or anything.
Absolutely. It starts from the time the child has been conceived by the mother. So all the
Oh,
mother's experience and her previous experiences, in her own life till the time she became the mother, and her experiences with her partner, everything is, just being recorded like a computer recording. Like right now you're doing a Facebook recording. So it's being recorded in the child's brain, and from there the concept of safety is that, because for the mother, if the few things are not safe, that will constantly go to the child as being not safe, even if the child has not experienced anything bad. It is like a predetermined factor. Oh, this is not safe. And later on, definitely, why when we talk about creating, so that is why we are emphasizing on the word creating, that at a level when you get aware about it, maybe as a child there was a lot of things which was unsafe, but you get aware about it, today I have the ability to create. And when I create, it is I'm creating for a generation, probably no more than one generation, I would say. So that can be done. So, and it's all in the brain. It is not. I don't think it is something connected to the environment. For somebody who goes to the parties, or goes to a situation where somebody's drinking, and absolutely is fine. But for a person like me, maybe I've never been to that dance club or something, and I would consider it really unsafe, and I would not allow my daughter also to go there. Why would I? So that is like I have already given her a predetermined fact that no, it's not a good place. And that information will definitely be carried on to the generations. So a
Wow.
lot of safety issues is actually coming from that, how you feel and how you experience, and what you just give it, just like, just pass on like a khandani, the heredity factor to your generations.
Absolutely. So, Kanchan, over to you. In my view, it's not just the mother and her womb, but when your mother was carried in your grandmother's womb, you were already there in your grandmother's womb, meaning your mom already had the ova, which then have been incubating in that information for God knows 100 years before you're even brought onto this planet Earth. Not 100 years, I'm exaggerating, but literally when your grandmother is there and your mother is inside her womb, your egg is already, you are already present there in her womb. And could it be then your grandmother's experiences are also impacting what and how you will create a safe place and what you will consider safe, what you will consider not safe?
Anu, like you rightly said, we are conceived 3 generations before we actually come on planet Earth,
Yeah.
before we actually physically take birth. And talking about womb, most of the women, especially in India, once they get married, they are kind of cut off from their maternal side. They're kind of cut off from their mothers, their grandmothers, and so on and so forth. And it is very, very important for children to be connected not only to their grandmothers, maternal grandmothers, not paternal, because the eggs have the memory of the maternal grandmother. So, being connected with your maternal grandmother and your maternal great grandmother. So, you're healing, a person's healing, a person's uh, sense of self, a person's sense of belonging, a person's sense of connecting begins from their maternal great grandmother.
Wow.
And like Sumita very rightly said, that, it is the womb space that brings your safety into being. Most of us, especially again in India, are not educated about relationships. We are growing up years, adolescence, when we are given a orientation in school, when we touch up puberty, when we are given an orientation on sex, or when we are told about sex education, all we are told is about the genitals and about the periods that women have and about the way the eggs come into being. We are not taught anything beyond what is there in the biology textbooks, whereas emotions, or a person's being, or a person's feeling of feeling safe, secure, love, blah, 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 everything comes from the way the relationship between two people culminates. And when I say relationship, I mean the sexual relationship. So when two partners get together and the energy they exchange, and the way they exchange the energies and the emotion around those energies. So if you go to ancient wisdom, before consummating, people would create an environment. An evening would be set for partners to And on a day-to-day regular basis, not just for the first time, on a day-to-day regular basis, an evening would be set for the partners to be in a beautiful, conducive environment where they could, over a cup of chai, over some surah, over some um, whatever food and wine, they would feel comfortable in each other's company. They would exchange pleasantries. They would make each other feel cared for, loved, safe. They would have conversations which would enable each one to embrace the other more openly and more loving and caring. And that is, after that is when the sexual ritual or the sexual process would take place. And even the sexual process had many processes to it, which we have all forgotten. Now it is the time of you meet someone, ram ram bam, ram bam, bye bye bam. That's the scenario in today's situation. You just meet someone, have a one night stand, exchange energies, go back home. You don't know what trauma you will carry with you. And on Chai Shai, etc., the talk show that we have every Monday, 10:10 on Facebook, we are bringing to the world a series every first Monday of the month where we would be talking about womb healing. Because each one of us, our journey begins from our womb. Our journey begins from our mother's womb, our grandmother's womb, and probably sometimes even our great grandmother's wombs. So
Absolutely.
we would be bringing a talk to the world about sacred sex and healing.
Wonderful. That's such a need of the hour. And thank you so much for bringing that. And could you repeat that again so that people know if they want to tune into your program, what time is it and which day is it? Thank you.
Chai Shai, etc., is a platform which has been formed to bring about awareness into the world, awareness about your own beingness, awareness about your soul and your spiritual awakening. We have a 1 hour conversation, sometimes 50 minutes, sometimes 60 minutes conversation on Facebook Live on Chai Shai, etc., at 10:10 p.m. every Monday night. And the first Monday of every month, we are bringing to you conversations on sacred sexuality and healing.
Wonderful. So, guys, you've got that again from Kanchan. And do tune in because this is one topic that needs to come out in the open and completely be spoken about. And that itself can create a huge safe space for the society to go. So, well done, Kanchan. Let's go over to Dr. Rashmi Arora. Do you feel, Rashmi, that the incidents that probably have happened in your mom's life and her mom's life have impacted you in any way? And if it is yes, could you give a concrete example of it? Thank you so much.
As far as I remember, Anu, and I can't tell you right now, but obviously I have seen when I've been working with patients that this has happened. For myself, I don't remember such an incident right now. So I can tell you, I was working with a patient long time back. This happened twice. So I asked that patient that I just took her into whatever memories is coming into her mind. Just speak, just speak. So she came and she said that when she used to feel that when she was in the womb of her mother, she had some problem. She was not safe at that minute. Something happened to her. So this girl, what she did was, when I was working with her, I asked her, I said, okay, tell me whatever the incident is coming to your mind. So she said somebody who was near her house had came to save her and her mother. And I said, what does that female look like? She said, she looks like an old lady. And I was doing her regression, this life regression. So she said, she looks like an old lady, wears a white suit, and she does not even speak my language. She speaks a language different to me. I said, what language? She said, something like Punjabi, but I can't understand it. I said, okay, fine. I asked the mother to come in. The mother was in the waiting room and I asked her to come in and I said, has something happened like this ever earlier? The mother said, yes. When I was in my the 7th or 8th month of pregnancy, I had a fall, and by the time my son, who is 18 years elder to this girl, came in. So by the time my neighbors had come in to help me, I said, "Who helped you in your neighbors?" She said, "An old lady." And I said, "Okay, was she of your dialect?" She said, "No, she was a Punjabi lady. We hardly heard her language, understood what she was speaking, but because she used to speak in very thet Punjabi." So I was shocked. And this girl, I asked her, "Have you ever told this girl this incident?" She said, "No." And I was like perplexed. I said, "God, how can this happen?" So this happened again. Another girl came and she used to feel claustrophobic. And many people had tried to get this claustrophobia out of her mind, but she could not. So I said, "Okay, we'll travel to your womb and let's see what is there." So she said that she is in a bus station and there is a lot of commotion over there. And after this, I called the mother in from the waiting room and she said, "Yes, I was at the railway station and there was a commotion when I was carrying her and I was going to my parents' place." So what happened was, this girl, after this, the claustrophobia of the girl disappeared. So obviously we are
Wow.
carrying something from our mother's wombs. And when we are carrying something from our mother's wombs, our mother, our mother carries all the information from her mother's womb. So what I've heard is at least 7 generations we can the information is passed down. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's so beautiful that, 7 generations, 7 pharaohs, 7 days of the week, 7 wonders of the world. And what you call 7 wonders of the world, you're literally wrapped in it and sent, and yet we do not feel safe at times. Yet we do not feel safe at times. So I'm going to ask Gopu sir. Gopu sir, as a man, have you ever felt or experienced anything as profound as Rashmi is talking about? Because we're talking about the womb and we're talking about a baby, and you have 2 children of your own. As a father, have you felt, "Oh my God, my son is exactly doing this," or "This is what was done in the ancestors," or "I am doing exactly this"? And guys, I'm going to just take 2 second break and on the light. So Gopu sir, please go on. Thank you.
Yeah. So to Anu and all the panelists, what Rashmi Arora spoke about earlier, I resonate with that because there is a pattern for the gene. There is a gene pattern which happens when childbirth happens. So as she rightly said, the mother's genes come onto the children, and from the grandmother also and the grandparent also it comes down. So there is a gene pattern which flows, due to which there are patterns in life which look very similar, and that is also very akin to my family because there are very cyclical patterns which has happened so far, which I have shared with Anu in the past, and she said yes, there is a definite pattern here. So what is this pattern we are talking about? The pattern could be of any kind. It could be a behavioral pattern. It could be a sexological pattern, or the way they behave, a boy or a girl behave in the family. It could be their relationship with the opposite sex. That could be a pattern, and so on and so forth. And also with marriages or romance or breaks with the partner, or with giving birth to a child. So this pattern continues for life, according to me. And I have spoken to many people on this pattern of life, and they all are confirming, including my guru, who has told me that there is a very uh, huge pattern in your family which is there, and you are born actually to reverse it. That is what he has told me. But I would tend to agree with Rashmi and the earlier panelists that this pattern is definitely there, and it is for us to explore it, maybe do a regression as Rashmi suggested, or find out from past records or past photographs or past behavior. Talk to people in the family who are old, who will know about your parents, your grandparents, and so on and so forth. So definitely there is a link between uh, the life we are leading today and what is happening in the family. Definitely.
Oh, that's so profound. Margaret, I want to find out from you. Be possible that when we forget, and this is probably one of the things I saw in my family, when we forget our, uh, like my father's mother died when he was just 2 years of age, and I didn't even know her name.
Hmm.
Okay, so from my father's side, I didn't even know her name, but from my mother's side, I gave too much of importance to her mother. But funnily, I didn't know her mother's name. I don't know anything about her father either. It feels as if people came, they gave us birth, they significantly have an impact on us. But if we don't even remember our history and we don't even remember how we went where and what's happened in their life, how can we create a safe place? So my question is, a recognizing just one part of the family and not the other, does that impact safety that we are trying to create for people, or it doesn't have any impact?
So, Anu, what I feel is that every person who's born, he's born for a reason. Okay, his soul, and whatever experiences he goes through, everything is there in his memory already. Whatever experiences he's going through in his life is going to shape his personality. If it is creating a feeling of fear or anxiety or feeling of loss, whatsoever it is, whether he remembers it or he doesn't remember it, uh, I can speak from my experience of Bach flowers that they will heal this hurt or pain or whatever he's carrying within and bring him in balance with his own energies that he's born with. So, according to me, the soul remembers everything. The soul is eternal, it never dies. So, that is a memory it is carrying. Is something I have always observed in my practice is that when I do a consultation for a family, surprisingly, the traits do come from father to son or mother to the daughter. They will have some common traits wherein they are. I find that very interesting. That the same remedies I have to give because they have that particular pattern.
Wow.
This
So
I have noticed in my practice, and they may not even be aware of it most of the time. They're not even aware of it. But when they speak, and then afterwards, when I've either spoken to the mother or father, exactly the same pattern is there in the
wow.
way they react, in the way they react to situations, or the way they have felt about certain things. And both may be very, would not be even knowing about it. And that is something that I'm observing. I mean, I notice in my practice that family traits are there, certain traits you can.
So brilliantly explained. Sumita, whether we remember our great grandmothers, our mothers, and whether they were acknowledged, spoken about, or grandfathers from either side, that's going to have impact on our safety that we're going to create, because it feels as if uh, some of my ancestors just faded away because I don't even know their name. Could it be that they have a silent impact on me and I don't even know that I'm probably working on a lot of my SAS stuff, but I'm probably still not feeling safe because I haven't even acknowledged those Purvaj or my ancestors? Could they have an impact according to you?
Definitely, Anu. I have been staying in a joint family since the time I got married. And when my child was born, so I saw Samaira's, my husband's grandmother stays with us. So Samaira is with her grandmother and great grandmother, you know. And when she sits and listens stories with her great grandmother, and she comes back and tells me, and she asks me the same question: "Do you know who is your great grandmother?" And I have no clue. I said, "No, I haven't. I have just been with my grandmother in my childhood days, and that's it. I have not." So feels very proud, and the kind of information she gets and the kind of sharing she gets, definitely I think she gets a more wider aspect, because earlier times when we used to be in a joint family setup, when children were there, a lot of children were there. So what I have also experienced with when I speak to people for maybe my generation or even before that, so the children were actually, the grandmother was the kind like a mother to the child. So I was speaking to one of my friends and she gave me a statement, when I got close to my mother, when my third child was born, like, I was like, what? She said, yeah, because before that, I was so attached to my grandmother because I just was so close. She was married, she got two children. Only at the time of the third child, when the grandmother was not there, she like saw her mother. Really, like, okay, the mother existed. So I feel there was a lot of displacement of the position of the mother. The mother was there, but she was not acknowledged. And the grandmother was fulfilling the mother place. So a lot of different situations happened in everybody's life, and that really impacts. But definitely I would say like Hindu culture is, or the rituals or the traditions, when like it's the acknowledgement come when somebody dies. I don't understand why it is so, because I have never done that kind of a ritual and ceremony, and I've never seen in my family happening. But I feel like if we can acknowledge when they're alive, that's more important. So I feel blessed in that way that I couldn't be with my even with my grandmother for after when she was like when I got studying and married, I couldn't be with her, and she was no longer there to be with me even when I got married. But I feel blessed for Samaira that at least she saw generations
Absolutely. So let's go over to,
so that's I think.
yes. Uh, let's go over to Kanchan from here. Kanchan, displacement is what Sumita spoke about, where someone else is taking care of you and you're not able to connect to your mother. Have you seen such a scenario maybe in your life, in someone else's life, which is very close to your heart? Or can you throw some light on that?
Displacement has been a part of my life journey too, Anu. So, mostly again, coming back to our Indian culture, our Indian families, we have had this joint family culture for centuries. And uh, when I talk about the joint family culture from centuries, it is just in the recent centuries, in the recent past, that we have moved from matriarchy to patriarchy. Initially, when a tribe was developed, when mankind started evolving and the tribe was developed, it was a matriarchal society, it was a matriarchal tribe, because women would take care of the home, the children, the tribe, the men of the tribe, while the men would go out hunting and gathering. And because of this displacement of the culture wherein matriarchy was taken over by patriarchy, people started disconnecting from their mothers and their mothers' mothers and their mothers' mothers' mothers, and they got dislocated from their roots.
Wow,
Because
that's deep.
ultimately we are all born on Mother Earth's uh, surface, ultimately the womb of Mother Earth gives birth to nature, and we are a part of nature. So how can we disconnect from ourselves? However, again, coming back to patriarchy, thankfully in my life, my dad's mom, my grandmother, was a very pious and a very liberal lady. Liberal to the level that she in those days when I was a little kid, she would go out on travels and tours with her group of friends, women friends, and she she actually gave the liberty to all the daughter-in-laws and the joint family to stay connected to their moms' homes, and so the children got the chance to be connected to their maternal parents as well, maternal grandparents. And when we talk about dislocation, I was brought up for my initial years by my maternal family. And again, my son was disconnected from his maternal family, and he was brought up by his dad's mother. So, that itself created a lot of disconnect between my mom and me and my son and me.
Wow. This literally opens up a whole subject where people can study the families and study how they can have an impact. And let's go back to the topic that we were really talking about. We were talking about creating safety. So I'm really wanting to know, is it creating safety only for men, women? Who are we talking about creating safety here for? So let's begin with Yogini. Yogini, different people, how can we create safety for them? Let's say children, women, men, and old people. These are all different sectors. Very little children. Then you have, men, women, and then you have old people. How can we really create the safety for them? What do you think in your required?
I think safety, when you talk about safety or feeling safe, the idea comes where you can be yourself. Again, where
Yes.
you're not judged, where you are loved unconditionally. So when I talk about children, that place is going to be the mother always. It will be the dad also. But, after a point, dad really takes up the role of a dad, because he's seen his dad. That again, when you talk about, we have been talking about womb all through. And then when you talk about the womb, it comes like the mother's experiences going to daughters. But we are also forgetting that the father's experiences get passed on to their sons, not through the womb. It is through the observation of the children. So not everything comes from the womb. The sons learn from their fathers. They are like fathers. They get that traits because they're observing and learning. So the father is eventually going to show the traits of their father and become the father. But the mother is a protection. But then we have kids where the mothers are not present. The father takes on that role. So for kids, any person, it doesn't have to be mother, father, as you said, great grandmothers, grandmothers, it could be anyone who understands them, pampers them. Yeah.
Or even Yogini.
Yeah, absolutely. It could be anyone.
And children are more close to their maushis and ayahs than to their
Nowadays,
real
it's that way. Yeah.
No, it has been for a very long time. It just depends what was allowed in the family. And
Right.
I'm interrupting you, but coming to male, we do have 32 chromosomes coming from the father and 32 from the mother. But so
Absolutely.
equally and important, and experiences of father equally important. We're not discounting it. We're just saying that the ova is not getting, the ova has got that kind of a privilege of being in the grandmother, and grandmother giving her stories onto the ova. And they also say that the sperm carries also a lot of information from the generation. So it's not just one way, but the timing and for how long it will stay as information is kind of different than what it is for over. So I just wanted to clear that before someone
Yeah.
objects and says not like this. Yeah.
No, absolutely. If you look at Abhimanyu learned to break the Chakravyuh in the womb of his mother because his father was saying the story. So absolutely every word said to the child, intended for the child, goes to the child, and what the mother is absorbing is the most important thing. So definitely all of this works. And for the child, safety is always the mother. Unless the mother is not available, the child looks at who is the next closest person who is going to keep them. It's not safety. They don't even understand the word safety. It simply means I can do what I want without being judged. Grandmother आके नहीं बोलेगी कि you're a bad child. Oh, you did wrong. You did wrong. So moment people start judging your actions, the safe place goes away. And as we get old, as we get older, maybe in the school time, it is our best friend, because that's the safe place. That's a safe place where you can talk about your boyfriends, you can talk about your relationships without being judging, because mummy ko jaake bola to mummy will give you 10 other lectures. Okay, this is right, this is wrong, this is wrong. So now the safe place is converted to your best friend. And that pretty much stays for a long time, maybe all our life, because, the best friend is someone who is not judging, who's not judgmental. So best friends are a safe place. Am I audible? Did we get disconnected? Hello? Yeah.
We can hear you, Yogini.
Yeah,
We can hear you.
So it's the best friends that stay for the longest duration as our safe place in our life. But if there is a situation where you're closing down, shutting down all your emotions completely, I think we start looking at a stranger as a safe place. A coach, a counselor, or any stranger. Some people who have anxiety, stress issues, would love to talk to anyone who doesn't know their history. Either we want to close our emotions, we want to go to a person who doesn't know our emotions. It could be one way, or we want to go to a person whom you can express without him judging. So we always look for a safe place, and we do find our safe place. So ideal is that you go in your circle, but if not, strangers, coaches, counselors are all a safe place for people to open up.
Absolutely. And that reminds me, Yogini, when I was studying in college, and if something would really, really stir in my stomach and I wasn't happy about it, what I would do is get into the local train and find the first stranger there and sit down and talk to her as if I knew her forever. And the journey was about 1 hour, and I had enough time to talk. Now I knew I would never meet this person again.
Exactly.
Never meet this person again. And if I ever do meet that person again, I had a opportunity to put my head down and sleep. So if that was it, I didn't bother whether it was a stranger, it was a person on the footpath. I had to speak and blabble it out. I don't do that anymore. But that's what I used to do back in time, and it's very, very effective, guys. So going over to,
it is Anu, just last note. So when you talk about senior citizens and grandparents, I think they find a safe place in their grandchildren. They tell these stories, they tell them things because they feel safe to tell. They tell it in a diplomatic way, maybe explaining it different, but they are venting out. A lot of times you observe the stories, they'll be telling, "Hamare zamane mein aisa tha, hamare zamane mein aisa tha, girls couldn't do this." So they are in a way venting out all their problems. So for them, the grandkids are the safe zone.
Wow, that's so beautiful. And all the grandparents around there, don't think you're a waste and you're not doing anything. And I said this in the morning on Get Set Up also. You're not an ayah, you're not a maid. You are not substituting for someone who is just, not required. You are the most essential part. And if you can do that bonding with your grandchild, that's something that can be a source of happiness for you as well as for your grandchild forever, ever and ever. It's something that they will carry, your grandchildren will carry your memories to their grave. So think about it before you start putting labels and saying, "Oh, they're making use of me." No, nobody's making use of you. uh, Coming up to Gopu sir. Gopu sir, when we are looking at safe places again, do you think there is a specific sector of our society which doesn't feel safe? And if there is some part or a portion of our society that doesn't feel safe, you, in your opinion, how can we bring that safety to that area or that population? What can
Yeah, so I will take off from where Yogini left. she was talking about elderly people, senior citizens, and
Thank you.
bonding with the children, grandchildren, or younger children, younger age kids. They find the safe to talk to them about various things, even confide. The children also would confide in the grandparents more than their own parents. So these kind of situations do come up, and if you see society at large, there are various uh, kinds of people, various age groups of people who would confide in a certain age group of people. Say, for example, a teenage girl would confide probably more than her mother in her bua or maybe her masi. It is the lineage from the father's side. She would like to talk something about, let's say, a teenage girl who has a boyfriend and she's going around with. She would not break it open to the mother first. More often, you will find that she will break it open to her bua or a masi or a chachi for that matter. It could happen where she finds comfort to talk about that topic or break that secret open. So there are various comfort zones for various people, which we call them safe to talk. It could be like chat boxes in private, which one-on-one people are talking to each other. So Anu may be comfortable talking to her mother or maybe her father. Similarly, Yogini may be more comfortable talking to her bua or her chachi. So everyone has their own comfort zone and their own chemistry with a person in the family. That
Very
chemistry is what we are talking about, being safe to talk
place.
about. So
Yes.
even the most kept secrets sometimes are discussed with such people. That's what I have found. Whether it's a relationship secret
करते थे.
or anything else, any other kind of secret that somebody is having. So that's the route people take. Yeah.
गोपू सर, आप किससे बात करते हैं? Who do you talk to?
I talk to my cousin sister because all my siblings are no more, and my parents also not there. My grandparents are also not there. So I find talking to my cousin sister, who is like my elder sister. I feel like talking to her. So those are the kind of relationship you build over a period of time. Sometimes you will probably even not build a relationship. You may not have talked to that person for a long period of time, but when something does crop up that you feel like confiding in someone, you will pick up a person. That's nature. It's by nature. It comes in auto mode. It comes in auto mode.
Isn't that beautiful? I mean, we are not really talking about, when I say create a safe place, it's not actually creating safety in a place. It's creating safety in a person and within you. Someone who you can go to and just put your head down and be yourself. Sometimes
Yeah.
you don't have to talk with these people and they will clearly understand what is it that you really want. अब वो बोलते हैं ना, अपनी आंखों से कहा, क्या कहा, मैं न जानू. It's literally like that. So let's ask Kanchan. Kanchan, who do you talk to? Who's your safe place?
Anu, I have been very, very fortunate over the last few years, and even before that in my life, like Gopu sir said, uh, I had a lot of cousins around me. I had my masis and my choti bua, Tara bua. She used to be somebody who would tell me stories every time she would come and visit. And I have always found my safe place in my masis and my bua while growing up. And
Wow.
also in a cousin of mine who is crossed over, Rama Didi. And from there on, once I started working, once I started mm, my career path and journey away from home, and I got married, and then I um, kind of for a period of time, I struggled to create a new safe space. And then eventually, a lot of beautiful friends walked into my life. And with
Wow.
each one, I have a different safe space. Like with you, I know even on a public forum, I can come and speak, and I know that if I create a goof, Anu will handle me with ease and care.
Yeah,
I
obviously.
am not bothered about how the world will perceive it. I know that Anu will handle the situation. So that is a safe space for me. With Smita, I know that every time with Smita Joykar, another friend and mentor of mine, I know that every time I am at my emotional lowest, I will receive a call from her. And that's, we are all connected energetically.
Absolutely.
Today the world of internet being so wide open to all of us, be it kids of 5 years, be it adults of 20 years, be it seniors of 80 years, uh, creating a safe space sometimes could be a challenge for people who do not understand the safety within their own soul. But then sometimes you just come across people on the net as well, and even if you're not chatting to them on a regular basis, you feel safe around them, you feel safe in their energy, you feel safe sharing parts of you with them. So safety again, confiding into someone or finding a safe space, it is all about how your energy channels, and like they say, energy is everything, and energy flows where focus goes. So anybody who's focused on you, or any place where you put your focus on, is where you can create a safe haven for yourself
Wow. It's
and the
it's
other
so
and the
beautiful.
other.
So beautifully said. So, Sumita, what is a safe person for you? Who do you go and talk to when you are, I mean, who are the people who are safe people for you? And how do you create that safe place for yourself?
So Anu, since the time I have been, growing up, elder sister. So they were the two people who would I would always bounce back to. And as I started growing up and as I started understanding, at a point I realized, okay, I can't tell certain things to mom, but then I would share still with my sister, and I kept doing that. I would say, and then when I got married, it was my husband also to a great extent. And gradually, when I started understanding a lot of information which was given to my brain through you and through other mentors, I understood somewhere that that safe place is somewhere has to be created within my own body, within my own self.
Wow. That's
Where I was looking for support. For me, a safe place was getting on to that. When I feel anxiety, or whenever I feel that, oh, this is something I can't do, how will I manage it, and somebody's there to just tell me, no, you can do it. So then I would say
guys.
I have been always in that safe hands, and always I have been blessed with safe hands and safe people around me. And ultimately I realized that, like, when my daughter was born, and when I saw her growing up, I realized that the first five senses are our primary senses, the touch, the sight, the taste, the smell. Those are all our five senses which are creating that safety for a child. And that is how I understood that would have created that safety for me also. So, whenever I wanted to get into that safe zone or comfort zone or whatever way of, connection, I would definitely look for that touch. I would definitely look for those words. I would definitely look for that, something I wanted to see, something I wanted to, that is how we cling to certain things. that because we connect them with comfort foods, comfort, things, my dress, my something which is I feel good at. So that is how I realize. Now when I'm working with clients and then I understand that, how safety is such a basic parameter, and a lot of people don't understand this. So I am able to create that awareness, and when I create that awareness in them, it really makes them understand that, oh, this was something really missing, and why we couldn't create that safe place for us, because we all are doing that. I said I have been also doing it for
Of course,
many years. So it is
continuous.
like, God is within us, and
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's
so yeah. So like I said, God is within us, and the safety is also somewhere within us. So that is how we can connect. Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you so much. Margaret, how do you create safe place for yourself? Who's your safe people?
So when I was growing up, I had two people in my life I felt very safe with. One was my aunt, and one was my maid who brought me up.
Wow.
And I have never felt, and both have passed on. And for many years of my life, for a long period of my life, I was just by myself. So I think that being alone also gave me that strength to depend on myself. And so I think today, when I look back, yes, I have my husband, I have my daughter, but somewhere, to a large extent, I depend on myself.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And
So,
that,
and I think that is because of the experience I've had, and that period of my life where I had nobody. So you don't have a choice but to start depending on yourself.
wow. So sometimes you got to create a safe place within you. You cannot
Yeah.
create it said, and that's what Margaret is saying. So well said. Yogini, who is your safe, who have been your safe people? Yogini, who have been your safe people?
Um, Interesting. Because I think I talk to everyone. I love my profession for that matter, Because every time I have a client, I love to tell my personal stories.
The internet is really shabby today. I am so sorry about this. Is Yogini stuck or am I feeling she's stuck?
She's stuck.
I think nowadays it's my daughter. As she's growing up, I just, the days I'm irritated, oh God, this one did this. It's just about venting out. For me, it is not like seeking an advice. It is not about being judged. So I think my daughter is a safe zone. She's 10 years old. I was like, pata hai, aaj papa ne ye kiya. He shouldn't have done that. And she's like, it's okay, mama, chill, relax. So we are done. So I think I find a safe zone in my daughter somewhere, and all my people I talk to. I find safe zone in you guys. You're a big girl gang, and I love to talk. And I love to tell you, yaar, maine kiya hai, galti ki hai. We all make mistakes. We all do wrong things. So what's wrong to admit it? So I think
You
I've
can talk
learned
to
to
me
say
also.
sorry. Uh,
I was thinking, आपने गोपू सर को eliminate कर दिया. Even to the girl guy.
so you are the anchor here, then I should say. You are the one, actually, you're the safest zone because we can bitch about men to you.
So beautiful. And for me, guys, safe place was and has been my father. Every time I went to him, he sat down and he told me, Aage kya? When he used to say to me, Aage kya? I would carry a award and he would look at it and live another 4 days. But his last question was, Aage kya? I tell you, I was so mad with him. I could have strangled him with my 2 hands. Bare hands, I could have done that. My old man passed away 3 years back on the 30th. And today, when I look back and I bless him that because he kept on saying, Aage kya, I now ask myself, Aage kya? So the part of me has converted to give, and there was safety in those words, Aage kya. There was safety in the words, Kaam dil laga ke karna. There was safety in him saying, I love you. And there is safety when my mom is sitting on this podium right now. You can't see her. And she is a silent spectator watching. And this was my biggest dream, that my mom would watch me, because I was separated from her for about 4 years when I was younger, or 3 years. I mean, maths is bad over here, but the point that I'm trying to make is that some एक ख्वाहिश जो रह जाती है दिल में, एक ख्वाहिश जो रह जाती है दिल में, वो ख्वाहिशी बन के रह जाती है अगर कोई आपकी पूरा करने ना आए, you know. And then you have wish fulfillment. For me, this is safe when my mother sits down, and I don't even know whether she's there or not. हो सकता है you know what I mean? हो सकता है she's doing a proxy here, but it matters because she'll ask me call करके, link तो भेज देना बेटा. It's safety for me when I can talk to my daughter and say, you know what, मेरा दांत सड़ गया है, दर्द हो रहा है, and she's saying, ब्रश करने को कहा था आपको, आपने किया नहीं, अब क्या करें? आप सुन लेते मेरी बात, कुछ तो हो जाता. It's safety for me when my son comes and tells me, Mom, मैं तो यही खड़ा होऊंगा, तू अपनी टेबल टर्न कर ले ताकि लोगों को मैं दिखाई ना दूं. It's safety for me. ये छोटी छोटी जिदें, ये छोटी छोटी लड़ाइयाँ. And it's safety for me when my husband is sitting down on the table and outside in the dining area and is working from there. It's safety for me. कोई मेरे घर में घुस नहीं सकता. Watchman खड़ा किया हुआ हमने. ये छोटे छोटे झगड़े, ये छोटी छोटी जुदाइयाँ, ये छोटी छोटी स्टोरीज, ये छोटी छोटी तन्हाइयाँ, ये आपकी छोटी छोटी कहानियाँ, इन सब में सेफ्टी लगती है मुझको. नहीं तो कभी भी फेसबुक पे आके मैं ऐसे खड़े नहीं होती हूँ, बिकॉज आई डोंट फील एक्सपोज्ड, आई फील लव्ड. एंड दैट्स अकॉर्डिंग टू मी सेफ्टी. और वो पता है क्या है, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि कहीं भी क्रिएट कर सकते हैं. दो लोग अगर मिले, दिल से दिल जुड़ने चाहिए, बातें होनी चाहिए, और आप सबसे बात नहीं कर सकते. मैं तो सबसे बात नहीं कर सकती, मैं बोर हो जाती हूँ 5 मिनट के बाद. लिटरली बोर हो जाती हूँ, बिकॉज लोग सोच सोच के बात करते हो, मुझे सोचना आता नहीं है. मैं सिर्फ बात करती हूँ and then it's done with. What's the next thing? Like my father, what's the next? What's the next? What's the next? To be really honest, मुझे लग रहा है 3 साल से उनका भूत मुझे ड्राइव कर रहा है. Right from the 4th day after his death, I have jumped more than I have ever jumped before, worked more than I have ever worked before. Literally ऐसे लगता है कि वो अंदर मेरे आके घुस के कहते हैं, नो तू रेस्ट कर रही है, आगे क्या करना आगे. So ये छोटी छोटी यादों को याद कर लेना, मेरी नानी को याद कर लेना, कभी मेरी नानी के मोटापे को याद करके उससे प्यार कर देना, कभी मेरे नाने की शक्ल को याद करके वहां प्यार आ जाना. दोनों नहीं है इस दुनिया में. कभी मेरी मामी से प्यार लेना, कभी मेरी मासी से प्यार लेना, और कभी मेरी पिंकी दीदी से इजहार करना, समोसे खाना बैठ के रिक्शा में और भूत बन जाना. That all things which we have done in the childhood, this is all absolute love for me. So यहीं पे हम लास्ट वर्ड्स बोलेंगे. गोपू सर ने जाना है, इसलिए सबसे पहले उनसे पूछेंगे. आप प्लीज कंक्लूड करेंगे गोपू सर, द लास्ट वर्ड्स फॉर दिस फोरम. थैंक यू.
Yeah, very interesting talk today, because we were able to find out what is the safe zone for each person on the panel, and also we were also able to find out कि किसको किसके साथ जमता है ज्यादा, और वो केमिस्ट्री, वो जो जैसे अनु ने बताया, मेरी पिताजी के साथ मेरी पड़ती थी, लेकिन वो हमेशा पूछते थे आगे क्या. तो वैसे काफी अच्छे कहानियां हम सुन रहे थे, एंड इट वाज रियली इंटरेस्टिंग. रियली थैंक. हाँ जी,
एक गाना, एक लाइन, बहुत दिन हो गया आपसे सुना.
हाँ हाँ हाँ, लेकिन फिर
एक लाइन,
एक लाइन, ठीक है जरूर. तो ये कहानियां ऐसी थी कि गाड़ी तो चलती रहती है, जिंदगी की गाड़ी. तो इसी लाइन में गाड़ी की याद आ रही है. गाड़ी बुला रही है, गाड़ी चला रही है, चलना तो यही है, चलती ही जा रही है. गाड़ी बुला रही है, गाड़ी बुला रही है।
थैंक यू सर, मजा आ गया। थैंक यू, शुक्रिया। कंचन आप कैसे, एक शायरी कर दें आप कंचन, इतनी सुंदर पोएट्री बोलते हैं आप। चलिए आपके पास सुने।
Okay, I will read out something that I recently wrote.
वाओ,
Rather, I wrote it this morning itself,
वाओ,
and it is probably again being safe with yourself, being safe in your own mind.
वाओ।
I don't know how we can connect or not connect the dots, but here it goes. Nischal Mon. Nischal is without any kind of conditions, without any kind of ifs and buts. It's just pure. And Mon is silence. Nischal Mon, नील लहरों सी बातें. निश्चल मौन, नील लहरों सी बातें. थमे पल, गहराई काली रातें. निश्चल मौन, नील लहरों सी बातें. थमे पल, गहराई काली रातें. शोर कोलाहल सा, और उससे पहले भोर उजाले, शोर कोलाहल सा, मन की बंदिश खोल न पाते. निश्चल मौन, नील लहरों सी बातें. थमे पल, गहराई काली रातें. भोर उजाले, शोर कोलाहल सा, मन की बंदिशें खोल न पाते.
वाओ, ब्यूटीफुल,
So
ब्यूटीफुल।
safety, feeling safe, feeling secure is all about your heart, your mind. And even if you feel safe in somebody's energies, even if you feel safe with some people around you, at times, it is your own mind, it is your own soul that holds you back from experiencing the safety, from experiencing the love and care.
बढ़िया है, बढ़िया है। चलिए योगिनी से पूछते हैं कोई शायरी, कोई कोट, समथिंग। हाउ विल यू?
I think I love this song. It's like love you zindagi. It's such a beautiful song. It's like तू थोड़ी सी टेढ़ी है, मैं थोड़ी सी मूड़ी हूँ, क्या जोड़ी है. It's like amazing जोड़ी, right? Life टेढ़ी हो सकती है, हम मूड़ी हो सकते हैं, but life goes on. You still have to love your life, live your life.
Wonderful. I love that, Yogini. I love the spirit that you have and the energy around you. Yes, Margaret, if you can also help us out here. Thank you.
Well,
A song. Very good. Know that. I've heard you singing. You sing very well.
so what do I?
उसके सामने गा दिया था, उसका उन्होंने ढूंढ भी लिया था. गाती बहुत अच्छा है ये.
Anu, what I'd like to say is that, if we find the safety within ourselves first, we'll be able to, just being with others will help them to become more confident and find their safety in themselves.
Beautiful.
So for me, it is that.
Beautiful. Can you give us one line of your song? She's slipping by. One
Pardon?
song.
One song. So, well, my favorite song, and I only know one song.
It doesn't matter.
पे हो फिदा, किसी का दर्द मिल सके तो ले उठा, किसी के वास्ते हो तेरे दिल में प्यार, कीना इसी का नाम है. That's my song. Thank you. Thank you, Anu, for inviting me. I really loved it.
Beautiful. Sumita. आपका कंक्लूजन रह गया.
आपने सेफ प्लेस किया तो मुझे गाने को मत बोलना, otherwise I'll consider it unsafe.
नहीं बोल रही, कोट ही बोल
Thank
दे.
you.
हाँ जी.
Yes. So I would say the best gift you can give to others is creating a safe place for them. And when it is up to you, you can create that safe place within yourself, a place where it is absolutely undisturbed by anybody, any environment or anybody else, but it's just within you, that safe place. So thank you.
Thank you. And for tomorrow's topic, I have already got. The topic is we're going into a little bit of a controversial topic, पर उसके बिना मजा भी नहीं है. पर ये थोड़ा सेक्स से भी ज्यादा खतरू है. मतलब सेक्स तो आजकल खैर इट्स डिफरेंट, बट ये ऐसे खतरू है कि मेरे दिमाग में ये आया कि इस टेंपल, मंदिर, मस्जिद सेफ? तो हम ऐसे है कि मंदिर मस्जिद नहीं कहेंगे, गिरिजा घर नहीं कहेंगे, हम ये कहेंगे is the prayer within our heart carrying us to safety. वो less controversial.
वाला काम करते हो आप? क्यों? मतलब
क्या है ना, सर कटा सकते हैं हम पर सर झुका सकते नहीं. अब जो दिमाग में आ रहा है वो आ रहा है, अभी क्या करूं. सवाल यही है, खुदा कहाँ है? आपके अंदर है कि बाहर है? इस सवाल को, इस चर्चा को आगे लेके जाएंगे मजहब को जोड़े बिना. खुदा क्या आपके अंदर है कि बाहर है? इस चर्चा को आगे लेके जाएंगे. एंड फॉर पीपल हु डोंट अंडरस्टैंड हिंदी, इज गॉड विद इन यू और इज ही आउट ऑन द शेल्फ और आउट वेयरएवर, विदाउट ब्रिंगिंग रिलीजन इनटू द होल स्टोरी. अ गॉड, हायर पावर, यूनिवर्स अंदर है. इज इट विद इन यू or is it outside you? And I will end by saying, अच्छा तो हम चलते हैं. कल फिर मिलेंगे शाम को. Bye bye.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Gini, thank you Sumita, thank you Kanchan, thank you Rashmi, thank you Gopu sir. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.